Yes. Yes, Bradley. Yes, Bradley.
Welcome, swimmers and friends. We are here to talk about Maestro. Or are we talking about Tar?
It's Maestro.
The white conductor, the white gay conductor movie.
Yeah.
I just realized that. That's great.
It really is, huh?
That's great. Oops.
And you're in luck. Viewers who don't have enough Bradley Cooper doing everything for 2.5 hours, we got you covered.
We've got Bradley Cooper writing, directing, conducting, starring,
Yes.
accenting,
Yes.
being from the 40s.
Yes. Bradley, I heard you did your own nose too. Yes, I take noses very seriously, and I wanted to design my own nose. What the fuck, man?
Oh, he edited it too. Edited it. My favorite thing to say.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, Assad.
Hey.
How
are
you doing?
I'm not doing as well as Bradley Cooper.
None of us are. You have to have the manic smile on your face while he does it. That was so crazy. We are talking about Bradley Cooper's new film, Maestro.
Yes. Starring Bradley Cooper, directed by Bradley Cooper, director of photography Bradley Cooper, edited by Bradley Cooper, screenplay adapted by Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, Bradley Cooper, Bradley Cooper.
I'm not sure, but I think Assad liked this one. I'll talk like they talked for the first 20 minutes of this film.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, what you doing in the picture? Hey, see, where's my cigar? Man, they smoked so many cigs in this movie.
They did. Hey, I wanted to start this off with one of our swimmers asks from @Bradley Cooper. Hey, Sarah, do you like Bradley Cooper?
Not as much as Bradley Cooper likes Bradley Cooper. I don't think Assad likes Bradley Cooper. How many times? Let's take a shot every time we say Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, let's
Not
do
just
it.
Brad, not Bradley, not Mr. Cooper, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And I would also like to give us this never before seen footage of Bradley Cooper in the editing bay of Maestro. Oh, this movie needs more me. Bradley Cooper.
I'll play the editor. Do you want to cut out that scene that's really, really long and it's just you doing nothing?
No, make it longer. Can you have it close up right here? Nothing else, just my face. Make him look at my fucking face for 2 hours. You know why? I'm Sir Bradley Cooper.
Are you sure it's a little long, Bradley Cooper?
Listen, out of us two, who's Bradley Cooper?
You, Mr. Bradley Cooper.
You're goddamn right.
All right. And scene.
Yeah.
Good job, Assad. Great
you.
acting. Not as good as Bradley Cooper in this movie, but who amongst us could be?
Yeah.
We're talking about Maestro. For those of you who didn't catch it, we saw this movie. Where did I see this movie? I don't even remember. The Grove? No. Potentially Alamo? Doesn't matter. Saw this movie at the theater. Where did you saw it at a theater as well?
Yeah, I saw it at the Grove, as
Okay.
I usually do now, yeah.
Good, because this was already streaming by the time you saw it, but being a purist, Assad went to the theater.
Yeah, if you don't want to go to the theater, it's on Bradley Cooper Flicks.
It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix now. What did we think of this movie? It was an interesting one.
One word.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Indulgent.
Heartbreaking. Oh my God, I changed my word from indulgent.
Oh, heartbreaking's good.
I was going to say indulgent.
Yes. I was going to say heartbreaking too, because my heart broke having to watch this.
Oh, you really didn't like this one?
Oh, I'm bullshitting. But indulgent as fuck.
I agree.
Yes.
That's so funny. I was like, oh, you say indulgent all the time, so I changed it.
Yes.
I love it when we get the same thing.
Sarah, you know what I hate about Bradley Cooper?
Go ahead and tell us, Assad.
He's good.
He's real good.
Real fucking good, man. You know, and usually the people that are all about themselves lack the talent. But Bradley Cooper's fucking good, man. He's a good director.
I agree.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a good actor, too.
Yes.
Who would have thunk from his beginnings?
Yes.
So we have Maestro this is the summary I got. Assad's going to disagree with it. We have talked about this one off camera a little bit.
Okay.
Maestro is a towering and fearless love story chronicling the lifelong relationship between Leonard Bernstein and Felicia Bernstein. A love letter to life and art. Maestro, at its core, is an emotionally epic portrayal of family and love. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I think it's all about Leonard Bernstein because of the person that made it, you know. Yeah. I don't know how much family and love is involved in this.
Hey, Assad, who made it?
Let me see. Let me Google it.
Stupid.
Listen. Yeah. Why heartbreaking, Sarah?
Oh man, this is, in my opinion, a story about a woman who gave her life to this man a little bit. I'm sorry. The story is about Leonard Bernstein, first and foremost. Let's not get it twisted. But Assad and I had a little bit of a conversation about what we thought about the movie afterwards. And I'm excited for you to dive in because I somewhat agree with what you're saying, but I somewhat disagree with what you're saying. So it should be an interesting pod today. I think that this was about friendship, their friendship and their respect for each other and their love for each other. And it was just a movie about him. And then the B story was her, or their love, how much she loved him.
Is that a cue for me to go?
Yeah. Because I wanted you to talk about what you didn't like about this movie.
Oh, I don't think I'll go in with what I didn't like about it. Where are we? Do you just want my first thoughts on why I thought it was indulgent?
Sure.
Bradley Cooper is a great actor. He's turning out to be a great film director. And there is some great moments in this film. Great. The word great. There's about 4 of them that just have me. And I know I'm bullshitting a lot about it being a lot of Bradley Cooper, but there are 4 scenes in this film where I'm like, oh, you have to be a great director to make this happen. And he did it. And also he starred in it. I just think I say indulgent because when you know Bradley Cooper directed it and having him star in it and having all these dramatic close-ups and how the movie actually played out, that's supposed to be a biopic, this just seemed like a person that wanted the movie to be all about them. And that's okay. I just think he got to the 4th quarter, give me a bad sports metaphor aside, and then he's like, let me try to shoehorn some things in here so it's not just about me and my great performance and this great telling of another great white man that was good at something.
Tortured artist.
Tortured artist, yeah. Same thing as Star is Born, copy and paste, but still very fucking good. It's good, and I wish that Bradley Cooper actually just committed to making the movie without trying to shoehorn in, hey, let me make it about a wife that died. Mm-hmm. Let me make it about this man's gay struggle. It's like, bro, you think, these are all opinions from me, sorry if they're extra judgmental, but this is just the feeling I get when watching the movie, right or wrong. You like making a movie about tortured artists that are very brilliant because you probably see yourself in them somewhere. And that's okay. I'm a Kanye fan. That's all he does. The difference is with Kanye, he doesn't make apologies or tries to make it more palatable at the end of all of his projects to be like, okay, that's what's good now. Let me add a story about a woman to make sure that people think I'm a full director. It's like, bro, you can just go full egomaniac if you want to. But don't back off of it and give us the third part of this film, which just didn't work for me. So that's why I say it's indulgent. It's a lot of Bradley Cooper. It's a little bit like Seth MacFarlane did with Family Guy for a while. It's like, you don't want to get out of the way of the thing you created. Like, bro, we like the thing you created.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to get yourself involved so much in it. Like, we like what you're making, you know? It's weird. I don't know. It's strange.
Hey, Bradley, can we talk to you for a second?
Yes. Yeah, Bradley, sit on down.
Sit down, Bradley.
Will you stop taking selfies, Bradley? God damn it.
It's so much.
It's a lot.
We think that your scenes are, maybe we should bring in another editor with a fresh eye who can just chop those scenes down.
We love what you're doing.
Love
what you're doing. And also, we don't think the movie should be called Brad. It's about someone else.
Just Brad. It's me, Bradley Cooper. No, I do somewhat agree with what Assad's saying. I can see why you would feel that way. And I did think that some of the scenes got to be a little self-indulgent. They went a little long and a little heavy on the, this is my face and look at me, do what I do best.
Yeah.
However, great job.
Yeah, it's really fucking good.
It's pretty good.
Talking all that shit, and it's still really fucking good. And Sarah, I wanted to, before we get into actually like the first third act of this, the beginning, middle, end, I don't know, man. I've never been able to do it. We do it because of our tiny little productions of what we do, of having to star, write, direct, you know? But at this level, we have no fucking clue what it takes. I assume it's so very, very hard to edit yourself out of your performance, of your writing, of your, that's just like the fundamental flaw when you're the writer, director, star of it. All those roles bleed into each other, where if someone else is a different director, they could be like, no, we don't need that close up for 4 minutes on your face.
Right.
You know,
I agree.
They call it killing your babies, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to abandon these ideas that were on a paper and lived in your head for so long to make it a better film. And when you're taking up all of the departments, it's tough to get a real version of what that should be.
Yeah. I have great point. I have absolutely no idea what it takes to do this, and I bet it's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
So, all that being said, generally, this is not a film I would watch again, probably, because it's just not that type of a rewatchable, quick-paced film. It's kind of a slow burn, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. And in the first act, when this movie started, I thought, uh-oh, you lost me. I'm not going to like it at all because they were talking like this, see?
Yeah, Shane, you're must be up north in Vermont there, huh? Yeah, Shane.
It just like, wow, good job, Assad. You're getting good at this. You're getting good at these accents.
Yes, casting directors, I'm now open for commercial work.
Commercial work. Whoa, he can't wink. It's not on his special skills. He
It's
can't
always
wink.
like,
He always makes it look so painful. He's like, it's very funny. It's one of my favorite, most endearing things about Assad. Cannot wink to save their life. Yeah, so the beginning of the film, they meet right away.
yeah.
Lenny and Felicia, played by Carey Mulligan, who is just so good it hurts. And
Hey, Carrie, try to be bad at acting for once in your life. Why are you always so fucking good at everything you do?
it's effortless too. I
It's so
listened to
annoying.
an
Why are you so good?
What the hell? I always assumed from the moment I saw her in An Education, I believe was the name of it. Whew, good movie. And that was back before I even liked movies. I was like, oh, well, of course she's good. She is highfalutin. She's British, and she went to a fancy British drama school like they all do there. I think that they have that instead of sports or something. They all take really intense drama lessons. And I listened to her in an interview recently, and she was like, no, I never went to drama school, and I never thought I'd make it because I didn't. You're just good, you're just that good.
Oh my
Cool.
God.
So
You
cool.
made me stay in the Saltburn movie. You were so good. I wanted to leave immediately. You were so good, but yeah, you made me stay.
Made him
Shout out
stay.
to Carey Mulligan being excellent always.
Yes. So the first act of this whole film is essentially just them. It's a slice of life, is what I call it. It's just about their relationship and the ups and downs of it. More so about him, as Assad quickly mentioned at the top of the podcast. But I thought, oh no, I'm not going to like this at all. They were really swinging for the fences with the, well, hi, well, hey, how did it go? You know, and their chemistry won me over.
Yeah, even with big nose Bradley Cooper, like prosthetic wearing, this language they're speaking, they were off to the races. It's one of those things where, like, we always talk about, get two good actors in a room and your scenes will be good, you know? Yeah, that parallels their relationship with Leonard Bernstein's opportunity he got by one conductor maybe calling in sick, or they couldn't get a conductor, so he stepped in and did a great job, and then boom, his career goes off, and their relationship goes off, and now they're both competing.
Yes. And Bradley Cooper and Leonard Bernstein, because this is about a real person, a real composer and conductor, unclear. He, I'm going to try and stop saying Everybody, we're going to do an counter for Sarah, and just to try and keep me onto it. Keep me honest. He is gay.
He is gay.
I was trying not to say He is gay. He is gay, or potentially bisexual, but famously in real life, this was a gay man who was married to a woman who there was letters found between the two of them where she said, you're gay, and maybe we can have a relationship where it's about friendship and respect and love, and you can do your thing on the side, basically. Because this is set in the 40s, 50s, 60s, when even more so than now, really was not acceptable to be a gay person or a gay man. So we see him with Matthew Bomer, who plays one of his lovers, and all of it is really lovely and really wonderful. And toward the middle of the film, we start to see the cracks in their relationship. At the beginning, they're just so magnetic together. Sorry to jump onto the other track, but they're so magnetic together. And I do believe that they did a lot of improv as the characters. Yeah. I think it's pretty clear when they're meeting and they're bantering back and forth. I saw an interview with Bradley Cooper with Carey Mulligan actually, and she was saying how Bradley Cooper was in character for this film for over a year in advance. I don't think he was probably fully in character 100% of the time, but he would call her at night as Lenny Bernstein. And so that's not the way I work as an actor, but God bless. I think it really does something because they were able to banter as these characters and improv as these characters. And that helped lead to the good chemistry, I think, as well.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper is a world famous method actor. He spent a year in Vegas grabbing asses for The Hangover.
I was like, really? I never heard that about him. So I really like the back and forth between the two of them. And then the third act comes, and the wife, played by Carey Mulligan, Felicia, is diagnosed with cancer after they've had kind of a big blowout, and Bradley Cooper steps up and steps back in to take care of her in her final months or year. Unclear how long she was alive after her battle started. And then she dies, and Lenny continues to pursue his passion. And we see long scenes of him conducting, and we see him teaching students, which I loved that scene at the end. Spoiler alert. Again, when he was with the students teaching them, I thought he was really charming in it. And that was my overall takeaway, was that this man, Lenny Bernstein, must have been very charming and a very bright light. And I see a lot of that in you, Assad. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, well, that's a big compliment from you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's tough because I think this movie wants to be about more than Leonard Bernstein, and I wanted to give it the permission to just be like, hey, man, just make it about Leonard Bernstein. Mm-hmm. Because we need to just start calling this the old Oppenheimer, when a movie's third act just starts to be a new movie. And this is another one. It's been happening a lot to us recently, you know? It's like you get Leonard Bernstein to rise to fame, and people start appreciating how much of a genius he is, but he sucks the air out of the room. You know, you've met those charismatic people that, like, no one can exist in the same room as them because they're just so magnetic and charismatic. And you know, this movie probably should have ended there. Mm-hmm. Probably should have been 2 hours on that, just him. But I think Bradley Cooper might have sensed how people critically responded to this A Star Is Born, and how maybe the female role wasn't written very, like, three-dimensional. And I wanted to ask a question, and it's tough to answer, Sarah, but I've just been wondering, the more and more I see these movies that are written by men and they have a female role that's pretty flat. You know, Carey Mulligan will make you think this isn't a flat character because she's so fucking good, but she's not doing much. They give her, like, maybe one scene where she's acting, but everything else is to serve Leonard Bernstein. You know, she's just a wife. She's being quiet when she sees him philandering with other homosexual men. She's having to be quiet when he's holding hands with his gay partner, things like that. But you don't know who she actually is. And that's okay if the movie ends before the second act and it's just about Leonard Bernstein, but then they make this pivot about her cancer diagnosis, although very well done, about her getting the diagnosis, about her going through it, the treatment. Although it's well done, her character isn't. You know, so the movie ends with the passing of her with this big, like, bold Maestro, as if she was the muse, and she probably was in real life. But the fault of the movie for me is, like, I don't think you did enough. I know for a fact you didn't do enough for her character to try to pay it off with her. Just make it about Leonard, man. Don't try to throw that in our face. You didn't do the work for her. Every scene's about Leonard. Everybody's talking about Leonard. Make the movie about Leonard. And that's the flaw in the third act for me. Having said that, Sarah, the scenes where he's conducting are fucking magical for me. They really have me. I saw this again on Netflix while I was off an edible. And, you know, edibles for me when I'm watching films, they allow the entry point to be a little easier. I'm just like, oh, I can be in the world a little easier when I'm a little high. And watching him conduct, I'm like, this is his bid for Best Actor this year.
Interesting. Maybe that's... So you and I disagree completely about this movie, other than the fact that we both liked it. I think that two things can be true, and maybe I'm a bad feminist, but I felt that as I said at the top of the podcast, that her purpose, and presumably that was a lot of women's purpose back in this time, was to serve him, you know, as his partner, as his wife, as his friend. And did it not work for you did their love story work for you at all? I know it's different than what you're saying. You're saying that she didn't have any meat outside of him, and we see all of his meat outside of her. We just don't see, I should probably stop saying we see his meat, because that's false advertising. We don't see his meat.
No, I don't know. Can we argue about this? I think we should argue about this, because I couldn't disagree more. I think you may be being fooled by how well it's done. The character development of her character, of Felicia, is not there at all. To me, it's like if you ended Star Wars with the death of R2-D2. It's just like, you didn't earn that, man. You didn't fucking earn that. And I know why you're doing it, because you think it makes the movie more whole. And like, you're trying to hush the criticism before you get it. Because you know if you don't end it with her, you're going to be like, oh, there's Bradley Cooper making another movie about a brilliant man because he thinks he's a brilliant man. And me, I'm like, that's probably true, but I want that movie. Be a brilliant man. Make the movie all about you. Be self-centered. It's art. It allows you to. It starts with the quote that art is supposed to make you ask questions, not answer them. You know? I want Bradley Cooper unleashed. Fuck it, man. You know, don't do what Hollywood is asking you to do. And don't try to hush the criticism. Just make the movie about a charismatic, gravity-sucking character that is brilliant at what he does and fucks up his relationship because of it. That's kind of the only movies actually now that white men are entrusted to make. They still make all the other movies. But that's the ones they know the best. Being good at something because the world's allowed them to. And they don't know how to like cope with it with their partners because they're great at something. I want that movie, man. I just think it was a real cop-out to make it about her in the third act, because I'm like, you didn't earn that from me, man. You can't just make a side character die when I don't even know who she is. And you can't define her by how she serves him. It doesn't make fucking sense. That's reductive, you know?
Well, I certainly can't win an argument with you. I never have. I've never tried. I'm not as good at arguing points as you are. And I honestly didn't notice that until you said it. It's made me think, and I really am appreciative that you have that viewpoint. I think because maybe I'm not a writer, or I'm not, I don't know, I don't view movies like that. I also read something about that, about American fiction, about how all of the female characters weren't really well developed, and I don't notice stuff like that, which makes me a bad feminist, and I'm so sorry. But I thought, couldn't this be about what this person, male or female, has sacrificed for this relationship, for this love, for this man, and what she gained from that, her children and her love and some really joyful moments, and what she lost, which might have been, they do mention her career here and there, and I don't know how successful of an actress she was at the time, but I think that that's a story in and of itself, is what we sacrifice for the people in our lives, what we sacrifice for love, you know, and that could be her story.
I feel you, man. Even though I'm being overly critical, I don't think I'm explaining how much I liked this movie, because there were really great moments in it. I think as a movie as a whole, it didn't work for me, but there's some really high moments in this film that really captivated me. So I'm always arguing two things. From a critical standpoint, like technical, did this character actually work? Probably not for me. That they tried to hinge the movie on in the third act. Did the movie have me like invested in it? Fuck yeah, it did. You know, so that's just me like trying to, maybe being overly nitpicky, but I do think it's an issue with men writing female characters. But you know, if you don't feel it and I'm arguing it, maybe I'm just trying to be the woke warrior here, but I would like to see a female character having to serve someone else like Leonard Bernstein their whole life, but who is the character that has to serve that person? Not just after your plays, not just like by your side. I think she got one scene without Leonard Bernstein in it, and she was acting, you know, and still it was, you know, concerning him, you know. Sorry to talk to everybody about our fans like children, but our movie knowledge is like children. But if everyone's heard of the Bechdel test, have you heard of the Bechdel test?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
But please explain it for anyone who hasn't briefly. It's just, or I can.
You explain it so I'm not mansplaining?
It's just if two women in a room, in a scene, can go without talking about a man.
Yes.
Or maybe it's a certain period of time, but it's basically, if I'm watching this film, is there a scene with a woman alone or two women where they're not talking about a man?
Yes. And sometimes I take that and take it to an individual character, which is like, okay, if you're going to hang the movie on Felicia at the end of this, does she have anything that doesn't concern Leonard Bernstein about her life?
Well, and part of what I would argue to you is, I think at the end it could be argued that when she dies, and that's not a really big spoiler, we see in the very first opening scene, he says, I feel like I saw her ghost. So obviously, I mean, spoiler alert, but after she died, maybe he realized how much she meant to him, or how maybe he mistreated her. But to your point, they don't really sit with that, other than when he's in this interview kind of talking about it. They just show him going on and living his life and hooking up with being able to be a little bit more free, actually.
Yeah.
And being able to hook up with men and younger students, which was very similar to the tar scene.
Yeah.
Very similar to the tar scene.
Yeah. I don't want to lament on it too much, but that was it was the one thing I thought they got really, really wrong, but it was very glaring for me. Everything else, Bradley Cooper, you're really good, man.
Yeah.
Breaking news, at making films, you are really fucking good. At acting, you are really fucking good. I think a little bit of it from a nobody like me when I'm watching it, like, oh, I think you want to be seen more than your art sometimes. And where this one kind of left me was like, hey man, you don't have to acquiesce to what you think people will like. Just make it, man. Just make the fucking egotistical movie. I love the Jobs movie.
Do you think that Bradley Cooper's next picture will be just directed by Bradley Cooper and not starring Bradley Cooper, or any of his future films? Do you think he will pivot to that, or do you think he's going to keep on doing what's been working for him?
It's a good question. I think he really likes to make film. I saw his Directors on Directors with Spike Lee, and I can tell he's really, really passionate about it. He's an artist. I think this movie, it's tough to say if I wanted a different director to direct it, because he still crushed it. I just think a different director would have allowed him to maybe make different decisions and allowed him to step back from it, but I think he keeps on directing. He's too good not to, man. He's really, really fucking good.
Well, no, I think he'll keep directing. My question is, will he cast a different actor, or will he continue to star in his own films? Yeah,
it's a good question. I think it's all just project-based, I think he wasn't supposed to, I think Steven Spielberg was supposed to direct this film originally until Steven Spielberg saw Bradley Cooper direct a scene on Star is Born. He's like, you should direct the Maestro film. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. But other than that, it did allow me like 4 strong moments of being slightly high, seeing him conduct for probably a scene that I think Sarah said lasts too long. But I was like, whoa, this is a really powerful scene, and this is Bradley Cooper wanting to win an Oscar.
And that was my biggest complaint, interestingly enough, was that scene where he's conducting for an entire 5-minute song, and it's really close up on his face, and he looks really manic, and he looks a little goofy because we're used to seeing him look like Bradley Cooper, but he's got the prosthetics on. As I said in Killers of the Flower Moon, Leo, I was right in it. I was in it. I never saw Leo DiCaprio. In this movie, I was a little bit, it was a little shocking. His appearance was a little shocking, and it did pull me out of it a tiny bit when he was doing that really smiley stuff. So that scene didn't work for me. But I was going to say that was my thorn, but I guess I wrote a different thorn, so that wasn't my thorn. But that was the one scene I just thought, oh, okay, buddy, we get it. You're the star, you're the editor, you're the director, we get it. You wrote it, you sewed the shirts, whatever it is that you did. I thought it was a little overboard. All of that being said, there were some moments in this that really worked for me.
What's your rose?
So as I mentioned before, Matthew Bomer plays, in the very beginning of this film, we see that him and Bradley Cooper have a special connection and that they're lovers. And the beginning of the film, I believe, takes place in early 1940s, 1943. And they're just not allowed to be gay. You just weren't allowed to be gay back then. So they are secret lovers, and they end up both getting married to women. And they run into each other on the streets of New York City about 40 minutes into this film. This is a very specific scene, but they run into each other on the streets. He runs into their wife and they have a baby. Matthew Bomber and his new wife and their baby are all there. And Bradley Cooper runs into them and he's, magnetic and he's lovely and charming as he always is. And he says, "Oh, I'm going uptown." And Matthew Bomber says, "Me too." And then they walk together in silence for a minute or two as they're just walking to their place. And it's such a heavy silence. There's so much that they want to say to each other and they can't. And I thought, man, this man has, I'm going to cry talking about it. This man has experienced heartbreak and having to coexist with that person. And there's so much you want to say, but at the end of the day, what will it change and what is it worth? And that scene made me feel, I was like, woo, sitting there in the theater. Oh man, it was very successful for me. I've never seen that on a movie before. I've never seen it on TV before, but maybe it's because I hadn't noticed it, because I hadn't experienced it. And when I saw that, I really, that was my rose. I thought that was a really beautiful, very sad scene. But of course, Carey Mulligan's my real rose because she's the best and she's such a good actor. How about yours?
Yeah, a lot of those really good scenes come when you can't say the thing that the scene's about. That worked really well. It's kind of like the ending of Past Lives. If anyone's seen that, it's like the best moment of the year. But really good choice in rose. My rose was the scene where Bradley Cooper and
Carey Mulligan
are arguing before the Macy's Day Parade. I think she tells him, like, you don't love the music. You love getting up stage and showing it to how much you love the music in front of us. It's like you're throwing the music in our faces. That was pretty meta to me. It's like kind of how I was feeling about Bradley Cooper when I was watching the film. I thought that argument was really well acted. They let them play. I think Bradley let them play because they looked like they were ad-libbing to it. Then they had a little nod to like the Snoopy thing going past the window at the end, was a cool button on a very good scene. What was your Thorn?
Yeah, I agree. I really liked that scene too. I noticed the improv and I just thought, man, this is so cool. It's really like they're fighting and I buy every second of it. And it was how I imagine and how, well, I don't know, how I imagine a married couple would fight that is not my parents. But I see them in that scene taking little shots, but ultimately at the end of the scene, she says, the kids are calling, the grown-up kids, and they're in their teens at this point, are calling from the other room, and she says, "I'll go." And she goes and she watches the parade with the kids, and he gets himself together for a moment. And I just thought, I agree, that was a really great scene. This movie had a lot of really cool moments like that. Overall, I think the acting of this film, I think you can't miss. There's just no way to lose because these people are such incredible actors. Supporting cast was great too. Sarah Silverman was in this movie. She played Lenny's sister. She didn't do a terrible job at all, but she was still Sarah Silverman. Was that weird for you?
Yeah, I think when you cast someone that gives a zero performance, like not bad but not good, but they're so recognizable, it takes me out of it for a little bit.
100% agree. I kind of wish it was someone else, but also, I understand that even working actors need to work. So you can't always just cast an unknown. My Thorn was that I think it could have used some editing down. It was only an hour, 129 minutes, but it felt a little long to me. Did it feel long to you?
Yeah, I think that's because of the process of some of the scenes. They let scenes play out a little bit longer than traditional films. And slow push-ins were used a lot. Sometimes when I'm watching a slow push-in scene, the scene can feel longer to me. But a lot of the times he's just set a camera in one room and then let the scene play out without edits. And that can make a film feel like it's a little slower. I agree.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I never thought about that. I always just thought, oh, this movie was too long. But then I look up the time and I was like, oh, it felt like 3 hours, but it was only 2. That being said, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was a really big, beautiful movie. And I did think that it could have used some editing. As Assad likes to say, this movie had 3 endings, 3 different parts where it could have ended. And when the third act came around and we found out that Carey Mulligan's character has cancer, and then we proceeded to explore her sickness and how she's dealing with her friends, it was heartbreaking, but it was also a little surprising that it was still going on.
Yeah. Definitely felt like you had to reset.
What was your Thorn?
Thorn was the third act. I thought after the second act was like the most I was in the film. The third act fell apart, and I was like, oh, I don't want to start again with someone else's character. So third act didn't get there for me.
I have a double feature.
Let's do it.
I have two double features.
Let's do it.
I have a serious one and a silly one.
Okay.
My silly one is The Wizard of Oz, because it also starts out in black and white and goes to color.
Hey, I dig that. No, I dig that. That's a good one. What's the second one?
The real one was A Star is Born, because I felt that they were similar movies, and both are, the original working title was the Bradley Cooper story.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper's film.
Yeah.
For both of those. What were yours? Double feature?
I have a double feature. I don't know. I try to go random with these. You know, I thought Catch Me If You Can would be cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought Leonardo DiCaprio is like a man of many talents that hasn't been able to form relationships with his parents. I thought it'd be kind of a cool parallel to this.
Oh, interesting choice. Yeah. I think that it would be much easier to sit through a movie that's fast-paced and exciting like that, and a slice of life movie like this, than it would be to sit through two really long slice of life movies that need to be edited down a little bit. So
100%.
Good
Totally
point.
Agree. And now we would like to take a small break, presented to you by Progressive Car Insurance, where Sarah will reenact the Maestro Bradley Cooper performance. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hey, kid. This movie's about me, but we're gonna pretend it's about you, okay? Watch me conduct this beautiful orchestra.
That was our reenactment moment from Progressive Insurance, where you save 15% by bundling your home and auto insurance. And I wanted to read some of these reviews of this film, Sarah.
Oh.
Stunning, beautiful film start to finish from Cadley Brooper.
You're so dumb. I can't stand you. Cadley Brooper.
Amazing directorial debut by BC.
We need more Bradley Cooper from Brad Coop. Real creative with the names here, Bradley. My trailer trash.
Yes.
Most excited to see, and I still haven't frickin' seen it even though it's out. Frickin', you like that? Frickin'. You can tell I was home for Christmas. You're not allowed to swear, so you say swear word adjacent. What are some of your swear word adjacent favorites, Assad, from growing up in Utah?
Utah would call people fetchers. You fetcher.
Never have I ever heard that.
What the fetch?
That's so bad.
Yeah.
Fudge?
Bad.
What
yeah.
the fudge? Yeah. So silly. Darn it, I said again. Okay, most excited to see The Zone of Interest.
Yes, let's go.
Excited, but also not excited at all.
Okay.
Like, it seems like one of those films that's going to be real tough to sit through, but I'm also very excited to see it because I think it's going to be very well done. I've heard a little rumbling about it, and there's a woman, an actress who, I will look up her name, is also in The Anatomy of a Fall, which we didn't review here, but I did see, and my big takeaway from that film was how phenomenal this actress is, who I've never heard of before, never seen before, so I'm excited to see more of her work. And my least excited to see, for the second time on this podcast, is Lisa Frankenstein. It looks...
It's a two-time winner of Trailer Trash. The trashiest Trailer Trash.
Great job, Lisa Frankenstein. You did it.
Back-to-back winners of Trailer Trash, Lisa Frankenstein.
World's best cup of coffee. Yeah, it looks real weird and real bad, but good for you for trying something different.
My favorite trailer I got... Listen, man, there's a world where we're all just waiting for Dune 2 to come out, and I live in that world. I am a simple man when it comes to movies, and I want my lead actor, Timothy Chalamet.
Timothée.
I want my lead actor, Timothy Chalamet, and my lead actor, Zendaya, to have the same body. That's all I want. And Dune 2's giving it to me.
Great.
My worst trailer trash, I think this one might be a repeat, is Night Swim.
Ooh, yeah, that is a repeat.
Which is, like we talked about, the most privileged way to be haunted. Your pool in your backyard, if your $1 million home, is haunted. It's like, geez, don't you think our pool might be haunted? The kids saw a ghost by the floaty. Will you handle that apparition, please?
By the water feature.
By the water feature. No, the secondary pool, jeez. The secondary is haunted.
The secondary water feature is haunted. I have a couple of questions or comments for you.
Shoot, kiddo.
One, I saw a different trailer for Champions.
Okay.
Which is coming out in March, I think.
Okay.
The kid who played, do you remember seeing West Side Story with me, and I was like, I don't like this kid who's playing Riff. He doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I know he's in that. Yeah.
He's in that.
Yeah, as a steamy sex symbol.
I don't like it. I don't think I like him. He might be my new Miles Teller.
Okay, yeah, you got to get over that. Miles Teller's the GOAT.
But this kid might be taking his spot. I haven't seen Miles Teller in a while.
What other questions you got for me?
I think that was it.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you came back from the holidays happy, filled, 5 pounds heavier. It's okay. We don't body shame here. It's good to. I'm glad we saw Maestro, man. It's a good film. I mean, I know I was hard on Bradley Cooper here, but it's just because I think he's really fucking good. So it's because we love you, Bradley.
Overall, oh, my gummy rating.
Yes.
Almost forgot. And I closed my computer, but I remember it. My gummy rating for this film is 1 gummy. I don't think it was a perfect film, but it was really, really good. It's sentimental, it's dramatic, it's charming. And I think that's its most redeeming quality, is the charm and the spark between these two actors is really what he's putting all of his money on. He's betting all of it on these two having chemistry. And he bet it on the right actress, because the two of these crazy kids have really great chemistry, and they did a very good job in it. I think you should stream this movie, maybe. I don't know if it makes a difference, but stream it, go see it in a theater if it's playing in a theater near you. Assad, any last thoughts before we say goodbye to our friends?
No, thank you, swimmers, for subscribing to our YouTube memberships and to our Patreon. You're the reason why we can continue to keep doing this. So thank you for spending your hard-earned money with us. We'll continue to try to give you great content. I'm sorry we didn't see Wonka and Aquaman. We had a crazy thing happen where we didn't want to see shit movies. But I'm sorry. Maybe we'll get around to it. I'll try to convince Sarah if she wants to see Jason Momoa swim around with a trident for 2 hours.
You guys, he keeps trying to make Aquaman happen. He's doing it right now.
Yeah.
Every time we talk, he's like, yeah, well, we should do Aquaman, and then we'll see Aquaman at some point, and we'll do Aquaman. Yeah. And I tell him every time, stop trying to make Aquaman happen. I didn't see the first one. I'm not going to see the second one. I did want to see Wonka and cover it on this pod, because I thought a lot of people might have seen it over the holidays. But now I'm scared because I think it might be really bad.
Okay, maybe we do it. But
all right.
I asked in our chat, in our live broadcast, what movie people wanted to see, and Wonka won, so we might have to do that.
Really?
Yes.
What other movie did you ask?
Aquaman, Maestro, and I forgot what Poor Things.
See? Still trying to make it happen. Still trying to make Aquaman happen.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Not happening. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening if you were listening. Don't forget to download us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you stream your podcasts. Like and leave us a comment if you've got 5 seconds to do it, as long as it's positive. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.